Hi everyone, it's Jodi. Thanks for joining me. We are on episode 24 of Tuesday Tips, and today we're going to talk about kissing with stamps. Don't forget that with stamps part. I have to be very careful how I title this, or I'll probably get some interesting people following and looking at the video, right? So I've got some basic white cardstock here today, and I've got a few different stamp sets that I'm going to be working with. So the waves of inspiration, I'm going to use this big giant wave at the bottom. The slim sayings, I'm going to use the word enjoy. And then my watercolor shapes, I'm going to use a few shapes out of here. So what I want to just show you some examples of is this old technique called kissing. And so I'm going to grab a couple of different ink pads. So for the first one, I'm using Soft Seafoam and Pacific Point. The key is that you don't want colors that are too similar. You want it to be dynamic so that you see what happens when you kiss the stamps together. So this is Pacific Point, and this is the big giant wave. And I'm just going to tap the ink on here, and I'm just doing this bigger part down here. So I want to make sure that's inked up really well. And then I'm going to take just this circle shape from Watercolor Shapes on my Soft Seafoam, ink that up. And now here's the kissing part. This stamp, inked up, is going to kiss right on here. I'm giving it some really good pressure and lifting it up. And then when I stamp, whoops, I need to move that up on the camera a little bit. Look what you get. You get that Soft Seafoam circle, but you get that detail in Pacific Point. It kind of looks like the earth, doesn't it? Like a satellite view where you've got the land and the water. That's kind of funny. Very unintentional, but I mean, I suppose you might need a reason to do a card like that sometime. But I just, if you can imagine, I'm going to go ahead and clean this. My scrub pad is off camera a little bit. But if you wanted to do some fun background on a card, you could do this repeatedly and just kind of make it go off the paper a little bit. Just kind of do some back and forth background stamping with that technique. So I want to show you a couple of other color combinations. Let me get these closed so I don't make a mess or get my colors confused. And I have a little surprise for you. So the next colors that I'm going to use, one really important thing is to clean the stamp in between colors. So I like to stamp off on my scrap paper just to get a lot of the ink off and then go to my scrub pad just to kind of keep my scrub pad cleaner a little bit longer. But with the scrub pad, you can always take the sides out and rinse them under the faucet and it comes clean. So just stamp. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I got that cleaned well. All right, so now, same wave stamp. You can use any stamp. I just thought for this purpose it would be easy just to use the same one repeatedly. I'm using Pale Papaya and, surprise, Sweet Sorbet, one of our new in colors that comes out next month. So I am going to take Sweet Sorbet, because that's the darker color, and ink up the wave really good here. And then I just grabbed another shape from the Watercolor Shapes. This one is the oval. So I'm going to stamp that in Pale Papaya. Come over here and kiss on the Sweet Sorbet and stamp. That one always looks like an Easter egg. So far I've created the earth and an Easter egg very unintentionally. Also, I wanted to point out it kind of depends where with a smaller shape, where you go on this. So if I inked up again with Pale Papaya and came over here where it's a little more solid, stamped again, it's going to give me a different look just because of where I chose to actually do the kissing part on the stamp. So that's what I've got so far. I think you kind of get the idea of how you can use just a shape or something to do backgrounds. Now we've got like big background stamps. I've got one over here, the spiral die. You could do kissing with that too. You could take this image and kiss it onto there and pick up that spiral. You can kiss any two stamps together that you want to. All going to give you a different effect. So one more thing I want to show you is instead of using the circle or the oval, I'm going to use a word. I'm going to use this word enjoy. So let me go ahead and get some of this ink off and clean it over here. Now, another thing that you're going to see with this one, in addition to it being a word instead of a shape, I'm going to grab a different piece of paper too, I think, or cardstock, is that I'm using two more new ink colors, Starry Sky and Tahitian Tide. So Starry Sky is the darker one, so I'm going to use that on the detail, the wave that I'm going to kiss onto the word enjoy. And then the Tahitian Tide is where I will stamp enjoy. Come over here, give it a good kiss. Again, just straight down and up, good pressure. And then over here to my cardstock. I think that's really fun. So any bolder image is what's going to work well to kiss. So you need a detailed background. And then whether you use a solid shape, a bigger solid word, maybe a solid flower, any of those things will do really well with the kissing technique. You don't want what you kiss down onto the pattern to be too fine lined, or you're just not going to see the dynamic of that pattern. I really like this. I love those two colors together. It's the first time I've opened these ink pads and played with them. So I just think that's really fun, just to get some different colors. Now, you certainly, just for a point of comparison, if I did straight Tahitian Tide, my enjoy would look like that. If I did straight starry, what is it called? Starry Sky, yes. It would look like this. So notice that difference. Tahitian Tide, Starry Sky, but when you kiss them together first, you get that fun, almost marbled look when you use the wave stamp. So this is what I wanted to show you today. Just pull out some stamps that you've got, some solid words, some solid shapes or flowers, different things, and then something that's bigger that you can use for detail, whether it's a big background stamp, even a portion of a stamp like I did with this wave. So take a look at what you've got and pull them out and play with them. I'd love to see what you create. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.